What were the Crusades? The Crusades were a series of military expeditions to return holy places to the possession of the church from the Muslims. They were a military response from Christians to return holy places to the church from the Muslims.
Defense of the faith against heretics, reuniting the Eastern and Western churches, economic and political factors were involved, and there was 8 crusades in total.
The First Crusade was called in November 1095 by Pope Urban II at the town of Clermont in central France. First, an army of peasants led by Peter the Hermit, who was a French priest and key leader of the Crusades, set off for the Holy Land. They were massacred by the Turks.
An army of knights followed, led by Godfrey of Bouillon, a Frankish knight and another leader of the First Crusades, which massacred Muslims, and an army of knights followed, led by Godfrey of Bouillon, a Frankish knight and another leader of the First Crusade, which massacred Muslims and captured Jerusalem in 1099. The Crusaders massacred the Muslims until it was said the streets ran red with blood. Pope Urban II gained control of Jerusalem, and it was a military success, but it was a massacre of Muslims, Jews.
The Second Crusade from 1147 to 1150 was the second major crusade launched from Europe. The Second Crusade was a response to the fall of the county of Edessa in 1144 to the forces of Zenghi.
It was a military campaign organized by the Pope and European nobles to recapture the city of Edessa in Mesopotamia, which had fallen in 1144 to the Muslim Turks. Okay, how do I transition that?
Like it was an effort to retake it as a, or say like in conclusion.
Okay. In conclusion, it was an effort to retake Edessa, which is now Turkey, and it was led by King Louis VII and Conrad III. It damaged the spirit of Crusades, and King Louis VI of France invaded the Holy Land, but was defeated at Damascus.
Round 2, I'm gonna win this time.
You're on.
Okay.
Now that you just learned about the Second Crusade, the Third Crusade started in 1187, and the Muslim ruler Saladin had recaptured Jerusalem. The Crusaders, who included King Richard I of England, captured the port of Acre, but they quarreled and failed to capture Jerusalem. On the way home, Richard was kidnapped and held ransom until February 1194, when the English paid for his release.
You said something.
In 1187, the Muslim ruler Saladin had recaptured Jerusalem. The Crusaders, who included King Richard I of England, captured the part of Acre, but they quarreled and failed to capture Jerusalem. On the way home, Richard was kidnapped and held ransom until February 1194, when the English paid for his release.
Right by the camera, okay? Ready? Don't say a word.
I'm gonna take over Jerusalem.
May the best man win.
In response to the fall of Jerusalem. It was led by King Richard the Lionheart, King Philip II, a Roman emperor, and Frederick Barbarossa. They failed to recapture the Holy City, but Christian pilgrims could visit Jerusalem.
Even though much didn't happen during the Fourth Crusade, the Pope wanted to unite Western and Eastern Christians under his authority. He diverted this crusade with the help of Venice and captured Constantinople in 1204. Christians fought Christians. During the 5th, 6th, and 7th Crusade, they all failed.
The Eighth Crusade was called the Last Crusade.
An army of French and Hungarian knights were massacred, and some... Wait. In the Eighth Crusade, an army of French and Hungarian knights were massacred. Some historians do refer to it as the Last Crusades. The Church in the High Middle Ages faced several internal and external challenges, beginning with the Great Schism of 1054 and including the damages that occurred in relation to the Crusades.
However, reforms encouraged improvements, including a clarification of papal rule and doctrinal understandings of the Eucharist. There were many intellectual advances during this period of time.
Go.